This is what everyday sounds like: constant noise, pressure, distractions, and suddenly we switch. Going to holiday, taking a spa session, yoga session, momentarily it feels good. Your mind feels calm, everything feels quiet. You do not feel guilty, and you feel like, yeah, you're working on yourself. But that motivation doesn't last longer. That feels like a temporary way to distract yourself. It's like a parent who feels guilty of not spending enough time with their child, and instead of being present, they buy them stuff. You can take another example, like if a parent comes home tired and buys give a toy to their child and think to themselves, oh, they have done enough. It suppresses the feeling of guilt, but it doesn't solve the problem. So we need to ask ourselves honestly, are we distracting ourselves, or are we really regulating our emotions? One loop looks like this: stress, anxiety, overwhelm. And then you want to feel quickly relieved. So you ordered a food, you binge watch a series, and you scroll whole day. A small dopamine hit, but then you come back to the stress. One another loop looks another extreme, like you are burnout for a week and then you try different activities, try journaling, going to holiday, and on Monday you decide that, oh, I want to fix my life. You wake up early, eat healthy, but then when Friday comes, you are back to that again. This signals your brain, this tells that you are not lazy. You are actually not able to process your emotions. You don't know how you should be. You are forcing yourself to do things that your body is not ready for. Healthy people don't live in these extremes. They do not switch from chaos, control. They live very differently. They do things differently. They understand their nervous system. Instead of fixing their routines or trying different solutions, they ask themselves, is this for me? Is this something that supports my system, or it will work for me? They calmly ask themselves in situations which we often find uncomfortable. Instead of getting irritated, they ask, what makes me irritated in the first place? They notice the patterns, like, oh, I feel anxious in social situations. They build emotional intelligence. Instead of reacting, they ask themselves what this emotion is trying to communicate with me. Am I anxious or am I angry? They pause and think instead of reacting. That small awareness changes everything. They understand their patterns. They understand which led which triggers them, specific emotions that makes them uncomfortable. For example, someone who keeps overthinking in a relationship, instead of blaming, they try to fix that. Where is this fear of abandonment comes? They ask themselves questions. They reflect on their behavior. They spend time with themselves, and then they stay consistent. They don't meditate for 2 hours in one day, but they meditate 10 minutes regularly. They reflect on their thoughts, journal their thoughts regularly, like you bathe daily, you exercise daily. They understand that their mind also the mindfulness needs to be practiced daily. They build their love quotient. You have heard of IQ, you have heard of EQ, but they also work on their LQ. They work on themselves. They do things in a way that makes your system feels easy. They don't force a boundary. They know that if there is a toxic person in their environment, they need to do it in a way which we call gracefully. And they understand that other feelings, other people's emotions should not get into my system. Even if they feel revengeful, they don't like the situation, they do not take personally. They think in a way that even if that person does not like me or irritates me or is harmful for me, there is no need to hate them, because even if I'm hating that coming in my system, they are smartly deal with their emotions, which emotions to pick and which emotions to leave. So they work on themselves by easing the situation. They do not force a boundary on a person or even on themselves. They do it lovingly. So they are not just building EQ, but they are also building LQ. Emotional regulation is not about doing more. It's about reflecting on your thoughts, emotions, and your patterns. It's an inner journey. It's an inner work. This change how you think. Like my video, share and subscribe, and comment on the video what you are struggling with.